Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, wherever you are in the world. I'd like to welcome you to the first Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement Nomination Information webinar. Welcome. And here are the topics we're going to cover today in this session. There'll be a brief introduction to the Tyler Prize, who we are and how we got here, why you would want to nominate, the expectations of awardees of the prize, judging criteria you'd want to pay attention to when making a nomination. There's examples of previous successful applications and awardees. And then finally, the nomination process, procedures, and upcoming deadlines. Then we'll have some time at the end of this session for Q&A, and so please post your questions in the chat at any time or use your raise hand function, and we'll try and answer all of those questions during the Q&A, but we could likely answer some of those questions prior to the Q&A session. And then all of the information provided today can be found at tylerprize.org/nominate. And then more about the Tyler Prize. John Tyler was a co-founder of Farmers Insurance in 1928, and he and his wife, Alice Tyler, had always been concerned about the pollution, the destruction of nature, and so desperate to make a difference, in 1973, they founded the Tyler Ecology Prize, which eventually became the Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement. Some like to call the Nobel of the environment world. The International Prize recognizes those who are working hard to preserve and enhance the world and bestow great benefits for humanity. And it is administered by the University of Southern California. The Tyler Prize Executive Committee is comprised of 11 individuals and chaired by Julia Martin-Lefebvre, and you can read about and find more information about each one of them on our website. We also have an advisory council currently made up of 3 individuals who were once on the executive committee. You can find information about them as well on the website. And now I'd like to introduce Judy McDowell, Scientist Emerita at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and one of our esteemed advisory council members. On to you, Judy.
Good morning. I have been a member of the Tyler Prize Executive Committee for 25 years, and I have just stepped down, and I will serve on the advisory committee for the Executive Committee in the future. So I'm here just to answer a few questions. Why nominate? In the 50-year history of the Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement, there have been more than 80 individual and or organizations recognized for their achievements. The 2023 laureates are Daniel Pauly and Rashid Sumaya for their work on sustainable fisheries. The Tyler Prize is the world's most prestigious environmental science prize, as recognized by the Royal Society in 2022. And Tyler Prize laureates join an amazing group and network of individuals recognized for their achievements, and previous winners include Jane Goodall, Michael Mann, Daniel Pauly, E.O. Wilson, Tom Lovejoy, and many others. A unique aspect of becoming a member of the network of Tyler Prize laureates is increased access to well-established media platform and marketing support for showcasing your research to a global audience, raising the profile of your research and your research institution, and a financial reward of US $200, $250,000. Who can be considered? Individuals and public or private organizations are eligible for consideration. Nominations from all parts of the world are accepted, and nominations from institutions or individuals of the Global South are particularly encouraged. We welcome applications which represent a diverse range of sectors, demographics, and geographies. Self-nominations are not eligible for consideration. In other words, you may not nominate yourself. Who can nominate? Individuals and public or private organizations may nominate. And individuals can nominate organizations. Organizations can nominate individuals. To be a nominator, you should be knowledgeable about how the nominee's accomplishments fit with the criteria. Multiple nominations from a single nominator are not accepted. Nominees are retained in the applicant pool for a period of 3 years. The judging criteria for the Tyler Prize are very specific. The work of the nominee is expected to be based on strong science, including natural and/or social sciences, demonstrate measurable, scalable impacts on an environmental issue, policy, or practice, and other factors that may be considered include diverse perspectives, integrated in environmental policy and practices, global inequalities are addressed, environmental justice is promoted, and younger generations are engaged. The Tyler Prize is really recognition of environmental achievement. And this could be production, maintenance, improvement, or understanding of an ecological or an environmental condition, discovery, development, or improvement of sustainable sources of energy, and understanding of or improvements to planetary health. I give these next few slides that present a few examples of just some of the notable laureates that have received the Tyler Prize in the areas of ecological understanding, sustainable energy, or planetary health. Gretchen Daly was recognized in 2020 for her work on a natural value of nature to humans in financial terms. Gretchen is the founder and director of the Stanford Natural Capital Project. Her research catalogs and understands the value of nature to humans in financial terms and the societal and economic transformations needed to protect our planet. She has developed free, open source software to facilitate investments in natural solutions. The next is Barefoot College, who has recognized achievements in sustainable energy. Although Barefoot College is based in India, it works in over 90 countries, training more than 1 million women as solar engineers. Each woman is trained to build, install, and maintain solar home lighting systems, and each goes on to electrify an average of 50 homes in her community. This project was recognized because of its effective way to bring sustainable, decentralized energy to remote and underserved areas, reducing the global carbon footprint. Another example of achievements in sustainable energy is Carroll Wilson, who was recognized in 1982. He was the first general manager of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission. He was the founder of MIT Energy Lab to conduct critical nuclear and sustainable energy research. He conducted the first report on critical environmental problems of worldwide significance. And he started the MIT African Fellows Program, partnering with emerging nations and government agencies. And finally, Mario Molina, who received the Tyler Prize in 1983 for his achievements in planetary health by recognizing that the release of chlorofluorocarbons was creating a hole in the Earth's protective ozone layer. Halting the depletion of the ozone layer prevents about 2 million cases of skin cancer every year. He founded the Center for Strategic Studies in Energy and the Environment, and he became the first Mexican scientist to receive a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1995. During the COVID pandemic, he contributed to research on the effectiveness of wearing face masks. As you can see, these few examples of the Tyler Prize show you the dimension of the impact of the prize that had in the past 50 years.
And now we'd like to talk a little bit about the nomination procedure. We now have an online submission form that is in English, as all nomination materials must be submitted in English. You would need to provide a 1 to 2 page summary of the individual's accomplishments and include any links that are specific to the nominee's work and reference the criteria, which you really want to pay attention to on the website. We would need the names of and email addresses of 3 to 5 individuals that would provide supporting letters. And I should say, should the nominee advance to the short list. And then a short CV with links that are appropriate to any of the publications or reports and websites that feature the nominees' works and contributions to the criteria and, well, not criteria, but well, that would help. Like, anyway, I'm sorry. I guess we can go to the next slide. The timeline. So the timeline for submissions is August 11th is when nominations will close. And the submission deadline is firm. We do not accept any submissions after the deadline of August 11th. The short list, if your nominee has made it to the short list, you will be notified on September 29th, and letters will be solicited. And the deadline for letters to be solicited, the solicitation letters is, reference letters, I should say, is October 20th. And that's where I come in. I solicit all of those letters. You just need to provide the names and email addresses when you submit the nominations. And then notification of the winners to the laureate and the nominator are made on November 1st. And then that needs to be embargoed and kept secret, quiet, until the public announcement is made in February. And the date slated for public announcement now is February 20th, 2024. We have a few expectations and roles throughout the year for the awardees. Official photography is taken in November. There's an interview, a video that we record that is done in January, and media interviews that surround the public announcement are done in February. And then the award events and laureate lecture and conversation are always in April of the announcement year. This year, for the 2024 year, we do not have a location, but we have decided that every other year we will be back at the University of Southern California. So in 2025, we will be back at the University of Southern California. And then we would like any Tyler Prize mentions in relevant publications and media throughout the year. I guess that's all of the information we have, but all of the information can be found, well, for today, all of the information can be found at on the website at tylerprize.org and tylerprize.org nominate. You can email me if we weren't able to get to any questions, if we aren't able to answer any questions here. You can email me at nominations@tylerprize.org. I also am going to put in the chat the online submission form for anybody who is interested. There's two forms. There's an online submission form for individuals and for organizations. But I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. And please, if you have any questions, just put those in the chat or email me. Or raise your hand and ask me.
So we've had a question come in, Amber, about where the Tyler Prize laureate lecture and celebration events will be for 2024.
Don't know yet because we have not selected a laureate. We will select that location once the laureate or laureates have been announced, or I should say awarded.
Fantastic.
So stay tuned.
Another question that's come in, does the person who is being nominated have to be a scientist?
No, not at all.
Judy, did you want to add to that one?
Yes. The laureates in the past have been writers, they've been conservationists, they've been engineers, they've been scientists, they've been physicians, and it's clearly details in the selection criteria. And if you look in the website the profiles of all previous awardees, you'll see that there's a wide range of expertise and professions.
Okay, another question has come in. Does the awardee need to speak fluent English?
No. Nope. They do not. The submission materials must be in English, though. We have had awardees from all over, and they do not, not everyone speaks English. It's an international prize. It's just that the submission materials have to be submitted in English.
Fantastic. If there's anyone that has any other questions, feel free to raise your hand or put your question in the chat. And if we don't have any other questions, we can wrap it up here. Just a reminder that a recording of this webinar will be available on the Tyler Prize website if you'd like to watch again. As Amber said, you can always get in touch with her nominations@tylerprize.org if any other questions weren't answered today. But thank you to everyone for coming along, and I'm looking forward to seeing those nominations. Oh, sorry, we do have one question. What additional materials can be submitted for nominations or for re-nominations? So if the person has been nominated in the past, what additional materials should be submitted?
It's mostly what we would prefer are links to any publications or links to works, either maybe websites. There's no need to send like books or brochures. If we could have all of that can be online materials, and just the ability to go to it. We don't need hard copies or anything like that. Just links to publications or media articles, journal articles, all of, maybe if it's something that is tangible, like there's a piece of equipment or something that was created, if we could just have lots of pictures of that, links to pictures, links to photos. I hope that makes sense.
I might get Judy to also answer that question. So say a person's been nominated in the past and they haven't become the Tyler Prize laureate, what additional materials might add to the strength of that nomination? Judy, as a person who's been on the committee for 25 years.
Well, updated CV, new publications, new references or recommendations. Really just keep the profile updated. If in the first year person was or organization was nominated and they were working on a book or a symposium or something that had great global outreach and that wasn't in the prior application packet, that's something that certainly would be additional information that could be updated in the future. Also, if they had received some other recognition, some major accomplishment, that new accomplishment, it really is just an updated portfolio.